Are you struggling to plan a trip that somehow pleases everyone, find dates that don't conflict with anybody's calendar, and figure out a budget in terms of how you're going to pay for it all for this next trip? Being a travel planning parent is tough. This may be a role that you have voluntarily because you love travel, or maybe involuntary, you're just the default parent and this is falling on your plate for something to do. So, it's hard and we put so much pressure, especially when it comes to family travel. It feels like the stakes are higher because you're not only paying more because you've got more people that you're bringing along, but you want to make this trip magical because this is, maybe the only big trip that you're taking with your kids at this, exact age. And you want it to be special. And, I get all of the pressure that you have on your shoulders. And I mean, I feel it too. I have a toddler myself. So I definitely understand what you're going through. And so today I want to take some of that pressure off and share three of the biggest mistakes that I see parents making. And you're probably making some of these too, and how to fix them. So, if you are just joining me, my name is Susie Chow. I am a family travel expert. I help families travel in a way that is very fulfilling to the soul and strengthens family bonds. So, yes, doing all of the amazing, cool things, but also really having that deeper purpose to make the trip meaningful. So, what you are joining right now is day 3 of a 5 day boot camp that covers, I'm calling it the Family Summer Vacation Boot Camp. So, the goal is to get you kickstarted on planning your family trip if you haven't already, or giving you tips to help with future trips, or even preparing for the trip that you are likely going to take with your family in the summer. So, if you missed day 1 and 2 and are just joining, real quick, day 1, I covered the mistakes or how to make travel planning less overwhelming. And I shared 2 mistakes in that video and how to correct those mistakes. And then yesterday, I covered what to do before you even get to the travel planning stage. And that's going to help figure out like where to go, because that's something that I see a lot of parents struggling with. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about how to make that travel planning process easier, less stressful, quicker. So let's get into it. And if you watched yesterday's video, I asked you, I like in each video to kind of pose a question to have you reflect. And then that question was, why do you want to travel? What is it that is really making, especially this specific next trip, really important to you? And getting clear on this answer is going to make the whole rest of the travel planning process so much easier to help you make quicker, more confident decisions. And as you know, planning travel involves a lot of decisions. So that leads me to mistake number 1 that I see people making, which is not prioritizing or giving proper weight to the decisions and just over analyzing all of the little details. And that creates so much stress because you're looking at and stressing out over, should we choose this restaurant or this restaurant? And maybe that is actually an important decision to you if you highly value food, and if this is one of the top experiences that you're going to have on the trip. That's a different scenario. But if you're just trying to figure out like, I'm going to scope out some places that I might have like an easy lunch at after X activity, and you're really like over researching, over analyzing, spinning around in circles, that is not a good use of your time. And I know you're very time starved because pretty much any parent is. So I just want you to be able to release that and really give the weight and the time that you are spending on all of these decisions a proper alignment with how important that decision is to your overall experience. I hope that helps, and makes sense. And definitely pop in the comments if you're guilty of this. I know it's so tempting to, again, trying to strive for perfection when it comes to planning your trip. But, um, I think that that's where you just have to kind of align your priorities with the time that you're spending in the planning process. So hopefully that lands for you, and, takes some pressure off, saves you some time, and just puts things into perspective, because that's what it's really all about. Um, then mistake number two, this is kind of closely related, but mistake number two is over scheduling your trip. And this is so hard not to do. I get it. We have very limited vacation time. We're trying to make the most out of it. And we take that same productivity mindset that we have for work and, our normal day-to-day lives, and we apply it to vacations. And that, unfortunately, is in direct conflict with most people's goals, which is to relax and enjoy. And, if we're over scheduling our, travel itineraries, then we're not giving ourselves space to relax. And we're also not giving the space for the serendipity of travel. And that's where the magic happens. And if you think about, and one of the questions day one was, think of your favorite travel memories. Was it in that planned activity, or was it just in some spontaneous thing that you did, and it led you to this small hole in the wall restaurant, or something like that. Usually the stories that really light people up and give them that spark are those things that are not planned, and you need to give yourself space for those moments, and also just to relax. And you don't want to come back to work and daily life burnt out, when the whole point of vacation is to relax. So just keep that in mind. My mantra is less is more. So that means also less work for you, because you have to schedule less. What it really comes down to is prioritizing the things that are most important to you and putting those into your travel schedule, and booking those in advance, and then leaving a list of things that you would like to do, and you can kind of slide those in as your time, and as your time allows, and also based on how you feel that day. But that allows you to be more in the flow while you're traveling. And that's also really important when you are traveling with kids, because you just can't account for, especially if jet lag might be involved, or kids need downtime, but also honestly adults do too. I could tell a big difference. We just got back from a trip in France with our 3-year-olds, and I could tell the days that we didn't have any downtime or nap time, we were trying to nap on the go in the car or whatever. Those were the days where I just felt exhausted. So even if you may not need a nap, you need some downtime to just like mentally recharge, and also physically recharge, especially if you're out on the go, maybe a lot more than normal, to explore this new place. Then the third and final mistake I want to cover today is not having a process for planning. So planning a vacation, this is not something that you do every day, but it is something that I do every day for families. And I have a process for how I book things, order of when I book things, and how to make those decisions. And that is having a process helps so much in terms of relieving stress, making it quicker, making it easier. And that's what I want for you, because I know you're very busy and you don't have time to, wander around the internet and go down Google rabbit holes, trying to plan this perfect family trip. I want you to do this to get like maximum results in minimum amount of time. That is the goal. And I, really am passionate about helping families do exactly that. So, Speaking of that, in terms of prioritization, the one question I want to leave you with for today, kind of reflecting on those three mistakes, and of course, think about, are you making those mistakes? And I'm guilty too sometimes, for sure. But I want you to ground yourself in, what are your top priorities for this trip? How can you align your time in the planning process to those priorities, also not overscheduling yourself, and prioritizing those in the planning process to make sure that you can achieve the top most important things that you want to experience on that trip, and not go book your flight and your hotel and everything only to find out like the one thing that you wanted to do, your most coveted experience, is sold out for that day, and you don't have any wiggle room, like that's just gutting, and I don't want that for you. So um, what I want to share with you, though, is in terms of utilizing my expertise, is I am so excited because I am opening up the doors. They just opened yesterday to my new program, which is called Soul Filling Family Travel. And this is a 5-week program designed specifically with the goal of you booking your next family trip by the end of this with my help. So this, you will get access to me kind of like a travel professional in your back pocket to ask questions, help make decisions, and really be able to guide you along that process, and also give you the tools to make it so much easier. So with this program, and what I'm talking about, it's really holistic of the entire process of travel planning, from the starting the process, what I talked about yesterday, to today. I'm talking about the travel planning itself. Then tomorrow I'm talking about the actual act of traveling, and then what you do on Thursday, I'll cover what to do when you return, and that aligns with my 4-part soul framework. So today I was touching on some of the things that I'll cover in my program, that are the O in soul, which stands for open. And I would love for you to join me in that. If you want the details to check it out, just comment soul below, and I will send you the link to that. And also, just a little spoiler on this specific topic of travel planning, I've got so many resources to help you make this easier. A family checklist, that's an acronym, family, for easy decision making for your family trips. Path method, it's another acronym to help guide the planning process, give you that exact step-by-step process that you should go through to plan your trip. And then all sorts of tools and templates that I use with my one-on-one clients, things like a budget calculator where you can estimate trip costs and compare destination costs in seconds. So that is huge. And overall, just some frameworks and some spreadsheets, PDFs, to help you make decisions faster, and be more informed with your decisions. So that is going to help you not only for this next trip, but any trip in the future, because you've got lifetime access. I'm so excited about this. And most importantly, early bird pricing ends on Thursday. So if you are watching this right now, you can get the best deal you will ever get on this program. And again, comment soul if you want to check out the details for that. And then also, this is, as I mentioned, it's part of a 5-day boot camp, and I'm giving away some amazing prizes for participating in this boot camp, including first prize is a $100 Visa gift card. So start earning points for that. I'll add it into the caption, all of the details of this live. But for this, you can get started earning points right now by sharing this post in your stories. Be sure to tag me so I can give you credit. Add a meaningful comment, some like aha or takeaway that you've got from this that I just talked about today and listening to that. Or just tag a friend that is planning a trip and like super stressed out and would really benefit from hearing this. And as I mentioned, just to close out tomorrow, join me tomorrow and Thursday for the final 2 days of the boot camp. They will be at 10 a.m. or sorry, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm in Denver, 12 Eastern. Tomorrow, I'm going to cover making the travel process easier and actually connecting with your kids and like being present, not stressed out when you're on the trip itself, which I know can be so hard. So I'm giving you some tips on that. And then last day, Thursday, that's about what to do when you return. And this is the part that most people skip. So I'm going to give you tips on how you can use your travel experience to continue that connection with your kids. And really keep those vacation vibes flowing even after you return home. So I hope you join me, and I am so excited to be sharing all of this with you. Comment below if you have any questions, or just send me a DM. Thanks so much. Have a good day.